Dosia will have a smoke in his back pocket as well. I'm heading towards the B side here. All 5 players for North. As they go towards drop down, very quickly indeed. Full control here, and the final execution comes in right away.
Execution comes in as we get into the opening stages. We're still at 1:30 and the exchanges are happening fast and quickly. It's on to Fitch in a 1 versus 3. USP, no kit. Bomb down early enough that he's not even in the site, but he will go. No hesitation, he walks immediately through the doorway. Spots MSL, goes back out to try and fire onto him. He's running out of bullets inside of the magazine, and Valda gets the kill for North to go up 1-0.
Very fast play there from North. 3 players getting as fast as they can towards drop down. 2 at the upper platform as well. Hitting every single shot required. There's Dosia's smoke to try and delay them somewhat, but Config and Co, they're loving that. MSL with some great fragging potential there as well as he finds the USP. And there will be 1-0. Of course, the force buy. This is where Gambit become very deadly indeed. Remember on train as well, North are up 4-0. Then they've met the CZs in round number 5, and that's when it all started going horribly wrong. Could be a similar story here, number 2 on Cobblestone. One smoke already deployed by Gambit, but Cajun B's already passed it. In terms of the stack, 3 players towards B, 2 at A, but Fitch finds the first frag. And that's Config by himself on the A side of the map. They find his UMP, and that presumably funnels North towards B, but that's going wrong again. The CZ's too powerful on the Gambit side.
Too powerful indeed as Hobbit adds to the total of the kills that go in the way of North's victory, and although they start to claw them back, they're still down 1 man. Mo has the SMG, is ready. Dosia has armor and has already discouraged Valda from peeking. He's put him down low, and Fitch will swing in from behind to get the final blow. It's all going to be down to AZ as he walks back out to the broken wall, and it's a response from Gambit immediately.
Yeah, the 5-man CZ buy and head armor as well seems to be where Gambit do their best work. It was Config by himself pushing through the middle doors. He got taken down, like we said. At that point, CDs had all the information they needed. They saw no one else top and middle. They could all rotate over towards the B site, and North knew that as well. They had to commit, and he picks off 1 by 1, and it will be a disappointing way to give up the round. Gambit now saved AK-47, a couple of UMPs and M4s as well, up against the force buy of North. Mo's not messing around though. He wants the challenge straight away with the SMG. Utility, we've got 2 smokes, make it 3, and a couple of flashbangs for North as AZ patrols towards the B halls here. MSL waiting for his chance to get a little bit further with his teammates towards long A.
MSL with the P250 starts toward the site. Mo the close position. UMP. Fitch far back on top of the hut on site to look down to bottom of middle, which KGB gets closer and closer to with the Deagle. May, in fact, peek that direction. We smoke for Fitch, so that Mo can continue holding. That's when they start to see action at the bottom of middle. That's a pretty good shot from that range. He quickly takes down MSL. That's a better shot at that range from a Deagle. Cajun B.
Yeah, he's turned out to play today.
Dosia's back over in the same position that Fitch previously occupied, so there's no loss in men on top of the A side as Mo makes contact with Config. Baits him back out though, and he goes back in with the Deagle. A man advantage for North to try and convert, double that up. Pistols again. It's the team on the eco, but it's still Dosia in the site they have to find. Drops the bomb for a moment, but only a brief one. Another 1 Deag for Cajun. He's got 3 kills in the round on the Deagle, and it's Hobbit that's the last alive, and Hobbit knows that AZ is behind somewhere but can't find him fast enough.
We need to see the replay of those Cajun B headshots of that Desert Eagle. What in God's name was that? Let's have a look. It seemed disgusting. That range as well. The 1-tap. Good Lord, it was Dosia. I thought he'd be the player to shut it all down, but Cajun B, just spectacular play there. That's great. Not known to be the craziest of fraggers or do anything that flamboyant, but that's very good indeed. They do answer back with the force by themselves. North, 2-1 now. CZ's coming out once again. There's a FAMAS this time and an MP9 for a Dren. We saw what he could do with that weapon on train. Round number 4. A couple of, well, 1 AK and a couple of M4s. UMPs as well. This is the classic default from North. Get some long A control, 3 players there, push them back with the flashbangs and then go back towards the B side. That's the standard move. The Molotov looks good to find Fitch at the hay bales. Will indeed, down he goes, but Mo's still there, and he might get a double frag. Not meant to be though. Config finds his head.
finds his head. And Adren has to rotate back over as a result, but North smartly will back off ever so slightly, let the pace dictate itself. Hobbit has fast pace, and it's a little bit hungry, I think.
Bit of a scary moment there for AZ, but still the 4-on-2. They've managed to shut down the CZs finally here. Adren just looking a little bit disenchanted with this round, but they still have somewhat of a chance. CZ in the MP9. Not the most tantalizing of situations for them, but there are 3 low HP players.
Covers off window. Rush goes out to the site, Volda. Quick check, and then a back off. Gambit did such good work to win the eco, and then suffer the same fate. Means that North can put a 3-1 deficit against them and be in good position with the economy as Doja and Adren just want to punish anyone they can, any position they can be in to take guns down. Especially with the kill reward of each of the weapons that they have, including Adren, of course, on an MP9.
I think it escaped a little bit there. It was like 6 seconds after the plant. If anyone was waiting on the site, could have gone a bit wrong for them, but it's all fine. 4-2 should be guaranteed now, but we do have Adren coming in from long A. Config ready for him, or is he? Adren takes him down, and probably can't win this round. That confirms it, but still causing some financial damage towards the north side.
I'm ticking, backing away. Only lost 1 additional gun since the bomb was planted. Doja with armor will at least try and hold on to that. Or Willie, he's actually thinking about trying to get more kills with bomb, stay alive and get the exits, but goes in early. Bomb goes off, and he actually does get Volda down, so 1 more gun dropped from North. Have to save fully on the Gambit side, and I guess dropping the gun and forcing up the reinvestment is as good as having only armor when they can't buy anything else.
They have to give in for sure. Nothing going to be purchased into round number 5. Mac 10's coming out for North. It'll be Config and Valda to run with those, and this means they can afford to be a little bit more audacious and run in and try and farm some cash. MSL with the first 2, but Fitch does take him down eventually, but there it is. Money farm now for Config. He'll probably drop here though. Fitch hunting him down, but Config there pulls up the Glock, finishes things off. A nice convincing round for North as they extend their lead to 4-1 now. Money's not going to be amazing though. Map in the Gambit camp after those 4 spies. This is why it can be a cruel mistress on the CD side of Cobblestone. Most teams do favor towards that double orb setup and having all the utility to work with. They don't have that. They have 4 M4A4s. Dosia is actually down to the UMP. 1 defuse kit. And Fitch with no nades whatsoever. Same story for Hobbit as well. It's not ideal. And this is that fast A approach from North. They run so often, and the first frag comes in. Do they check the corner though?
Wait
they
for
don't.
It. Fitch! They've gone right by him, and Fitch strikes! Fitch makes North his bitch, but only gets 2. Cajun B turns back and puts him down in the end as Adren has to rotate over. And Hobbit sits behind the smoke. They're outside of the site, locked off. Bomb heads toward the platform. Config in position to hold as Cajun plants wide enough it can be watched from the top of the ramp. Do they go? No money left over for Gambit after this round if they aren't successful. Only 2 kills in the corner.
So scary. But then they lead once again, North 3-on-3 with the utility, the Molotov, which they'll deploy shortly, and Gambit have to give in. I was just building up. That's one of the rounds MSL likes to chuck in when he knows he has full control of the situation. He wants to be dictating the pace of the game itself. He knows the money's going to be low for Gambit. They might be stacking towards B or trying to find a pick, a drop down, something like that. He just sends all 5 players down middle, straight at the ramp, and it was so great. They got carried away a bit, right? They found the first kill. I think that's going to be it. No one else will be here. But it's so difficult, even for a player like Fitch, who knows an amazing talent with his aim. When you've got 4 players in your screen, and as soon as you kill one of them, they're going to turn around. How do you get more than 2? Especially when they're so spread out, right?
Yeah.
So,
Jinx.
Yeah.
You owe me a Pepsi.
I'll give you one.
That was very spread out. If they were even fractionally closer, that could have been massive. It doesn't end up being the round. North go 5-1 up, and money in tatters. They'll force on the Gambit side. The M4s joined by a FAMAS, UMP, and then a CZ from out, which we know has been menacing. Config continues on, gets aggressive toward long B. There's contact already as well on Hobbit behind the statue, tagged to 91. Gambit's got pressure on them. They're down a map. And they're losing momentum early. They need to strike back. Dren does a good job of doing so, finding 2 kills. Hobbit lets them go by. Lets them go by in the smoke. He's almost playing a similar scenario to last year at Cologne when Cold Zero set up a one-way smoke on the statue to find an ace. And he's patient because he lets Doja go with information, but he doesn't get any of them. The SMG can't find the kills as they fall off of each other. The aim is lost. Fitch will recover, and Hobbit still knows AZ's behind the thin wooden walls, but doesn't want to fire too soon. Goes back out and collects the kill, confirmed for the win.
Very fast tactics being deployed here by North. They're known for their B executes, but not that quickly. Usually, they did an A rush in the previous round. B execution off the bat in this one, and it's Gambit finally able to hold them off. But wasn't the cleanest of finishes there. Only 2 players surviving as well. Got a little bit messy towards the end there. Dosia getting intel from Hobbit there towards the chicken coop. He ran in with the UMP. Didn't take anyone down, but Hobbit there, very disciplined and calm, manages to win the round out. AZ can't finish it off. 5-2. The reinvestment though. Lose this could be a horrible way to get back to a double eco situation for Gambit. No orb still. No, desperate to get on that weapon. North, no, this is a huge round for them. Win this, they'd be one step closer to the grand final.
Closer to a grand final for North, one that would not have seen since Pro League. Meanwhile, Gambit, if they are able to succeed in pulling this series back, it would be their 2nd tournament in a row in a grand final. Been a very impressive and a good way to silence anyone who thought the major was a fluke. I think they've already done that enough by taking down Astralis in a best of 3, but Valda gets Hobbit back to level out the situation in this round 8.
Oh, the 4-on-4 begins. AZ at 10 HP. CTs with no utility left and no orb to work with here. Occasion B. 35 seconds though, that is a bit of a problem. They can execute in a basic manner, so working towards connector, maybe the balcony as well, but Fitch, we know his aim is very good indeed, in a nice spot to find a couple of frags here, but the flash does affect him, but it doesn't stop him. He's going to find 2 frags there, and that could be the round, guaranteed here.
Mo will sit to the cannons, and Doja will rotate back over, but the range of the SMG falls short against MSL's AK-47. Mo jumps up and smartly elevates himself above the AWP. He'll close the round, and they bring it back to a 5-3 scoreline with money still on their side. It's 2 in a row. This will force a timeout from MSL. They still have enough to force on the T side, but it would put them in a desperate situation following without a bomb plant.
Fitch with 3 frags in that round as well. The first one towards long A, holds middle, gets the double spray down as well, even after taking the flash to the face. Very good work by him. Will be Gambit with 2 rounds in a row. Money's still not ideal. 2 players surviving that previous round once again. They surely have the AWP now recovered. That'll be put in the hands of Mo, of course. And it looks like what could have been a buy for North won't be happening now. They're going to be going with P250s and CZs. They did have enough to bring just about AKs and armor out, but looking at the bigger picture at this point, and they'll have 3 smokes to work with here, a few flashbangs, I assume. Try and get the bomb down any way they can, usually towards the B side of the map, that kind of play, but Smo with the AWP for the first time. Spot towards middle, can't find the shot just yet.
Doja ready for them as they fall in from drop room. He's trying to do what he can. Again, throws away the SMG. We saw that last game. And Dren actually killed Doja with a nade trying to help him. Either way, it didn't look like he had much more in the argument, considering as Mo steps up to fire through the door after taking Cajun bottom of mid. Good reaction, stays alive with 3 HP, and they get another round against North. With a half buy last time, find themselves in a position to buy this time with the bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is 3 rounds in a row. North will go with the 5 AKs this time. No occasion BA, but AWP to work with here. Round number 10. That's been quite a quick half. Mo with some sensational shots at that one especially. That was lovely. And he'll be going toward long A this time. Going aggressive at the pick as well. Find anyone jumping into his crosshair. Willie, Config's thinking about it. Spots his elbow. Down he goes surely, but somehow misses the shot. Goes down to 16 HP. Thought that was a lock-in, but AZ, he's looking to strike back here. Can't find the headshot either. Dren brings in the man advantage, but he does go down to 20 points of health as well.
Add an additional smoke to the long approach so that Cajun is less comfortable, less open and more confined to an angle that he still does manage to locate and take down Adren in doing so. Again, the low HP was a factor, but it was still a good shot from Cajun. Hobbit will sit underneath the tree. And it looks and will be a boost to that side of the map. Now, if they do so, that could allow Doja to back off and get closer to a rotation position and a more passive angle toward drop. Rotation being the key word because it looks more increasingly like North is going back toward A. Fitch at stables. Mo in the door. Mo in the door with an AWP as Valda. Oh, timing. Heads the direction. Without much in it, no flash, walked across. Mo would have had an easy kill if he'd waited 2 seconds longer. Fitch, he's a little bit too late on his timing of the flash and somehow still makes it work as Cajun inevitably will take him down from the corner. Mo, position allow them to cross to the site. Has to be careful that they don't come up close side under the APC.
Oh, no.
And that has to be watched, but they're inside and they're lit up. An ember on the needles of a dried out pine. They light up like a scarecrow and down goes Doja as well.
That's unbelievable. The Molotov towards a murder hole and the balcony as well. 2 players burned to a crisp, and that's the round guaranteed at this point. Hobbit got no grounds to win this one. He'll be trying to exit out towards the B site here. And North, after losing 3 in a row, they bounce back here. Money should be okay, especially the AWP saved as well, but that's lovely. The fact they get that execution going. Config with 2 frags, same story for Cajun B as well. After losing the first towards that B bomb site, it was easy that went down. They recover the situation with some clever play with the utility. Dosia, 1 for 8, just to note that as well. MSL leading the charts there with Config.
Leading the charts with Config. Valda last time and Cajun B, so we've had 2 different leaders in each map. That is pretty awesome.
That is.
He goes one way, he's like, I'll get out. Oh, actually, I won't wait. There's one, but oh, it's too late.
There it is.
He who hesitates loses.
6-4. Gambit pushing his draws a little bit here in terms of the buy. A UMP for Dosia, who's been very quiet indeed, and Fitch, one of their star fraggers, down to just the CZ. But sometimes that's one of their strongest weapons, it seems. Mo still on the AWP here. Must have been round for Gambit on the CT side. Still pretty equal. Early days here on Cobblestone, 6-4. Head towards drop down once again with Dosia to be able to challenge Valda, or is he? Doesn't even get a look in. Taken down 5 on 4 as quick as that. Valda gets him through the smoke.
Gets him through the smoke. Hobbit, speaking of, will also be behind smoke. At B long. And Adren gets a little bit closer to try and support his position. Fitch has pushed up through danger, and Mo's getting closer on the AWP. If they wanted to try and push for more information and take a gamble to get a kill back in their favor, this would be the time to do it because they have no eyes on drop. Adren and Hobbit have fully committed out toward long, and now Adren realizes and will consider elsewhere. But this is a problem. They are so surrounded and isolated inside of the B site. And Fitch and Mo are only on the move now. Good luck being efficient and staying alive. Damage is aplenty, but the kills are not. As well, that MSL sat in the open and got sprayed for so long from an M4. This will still allow the bomb plant, and Gambit has to make a quick decision on how they approach.
They can't go for this one. They've got 1 flashbang, a player without a rifle as well. They've got to save that AWP. Fitch is hoping he can upgrade to an AK here by taking down Vald's head. He spots a pixel of it, but can't pull the trigger until it's a guaranteed shot. 4 players surviving for North here. It's another great round by them. 2 kills for MSL, keeps his plays at the top of the frag charts for sure. Cajun B making sure that no one sneaks in at the end, tries to defuse this bomb. It's his area. Mo will save the AWP as he, interesting, stays on the A site here. No one will be hunting him down from what I can see though, so it should be absolutely fine. Cajun B is happy that no one's going to defuse that bomb. He'll exit out towards the B halls as well. Have a very good round there. That was the force buy from Gambit as well. Probably can't justify a force around this saved AWP. But doesn't mean the next round's over. You can get some PT50s along with Fitch's saved CZ and head armor. If Mo gets a little bit more aggressive at the very start, gets the opening pick, funnels him to a B stack, there's every chance they can still win this round.
Fitch into the corner at the bottom of middle. A single AWP in the hands of Mo. And he'll wait at the B site behind the statue. In fact, he'll go a little bit more aggressive and try and find a kill on entry instead. Adren being pushed up so far at long A and not making contact. Fitch as well in the bottom of mid. Suggests that they would be over toward the B tunnels, but it's actually even more passive than that from North, anticipating that they're going to have, first off, yes, the 1 gun, but also the pistols. And it's a smart read because they're not giving anything to Gambit, and they're looking increasingly curious, which will eventually catch them out as Config jumps through and catches Fitch without any attention at all.
Looking good so far for North, inflicting damage to 2 players. Fitch has gone down. That's for the one of armor as well. MSL on a bit of a rampage here on Cobblestone. 5 on 3. Mo still has the AWP up, but doesn't really have much room to work with. His teammates dropping like flies around him. Mo holds towards balcony, but not given any opportunity to have any sort of impact here. It's back towards the connector doors, and looks like we'll finish up towards the B site, where they'll find a completely open area and a guaranteed round for North.
Flash down, Volda to secure. Allow his teammates ahead of him, and then Config will join MSL to take the bomb to an open B site. Mo will save the AWP again. It was a close game, back and forth. It came to 5-4, and money looked like it was finally going to be in Gambit's favor, but now it slips, as it so often does. One stumble, and they fall down the mountain, but they'll be able to buy in the next round, having a 3rd round loss bonus, and the AWP saved. Should they save it? It looks like they will. There's not a whole lot of chase going on, and Hobbit's actually getting aggressive, if you will, on the defense of Mo by going forward all the way to the tunnels, and Mo can only focus on one side that way. Getting information from Hobbit.
Yeah, Mo just wants to save the AWP. Looks like he absolutely will. Maybe not. They are coming in for the hunt here now. Mo holds towards danger, and he'll have to start hitting some shots. There's the first. MSO drops, and he probably gets the second one as well. Config will be on his heels, but falls back towards long A.
This isn't done yet. Another 10 seconds.
Get this.
About 5 before this is done. He's gotten the kill that's closest to him. They're still running. AZ's close. AZ's on his heels, and he's not quite going to get around the corner. So that's important because we just talked about it. The buy now is increased. They would not have had an AWP otherwise.
Gambit call the timeout now. Called by the in-game leader, Adren. Chips are down. 8-4. North of 1.5. Already a map down here. You're on the chase. They've saved the AWP for sure. Money's okay. Mo can drop an M4. They'll have a decent buy into round number 13 here. But how are they going to win it? What's the setup? North have got so many strategies in their book. The defaults are very good. The fakes are great. The executions are on point. The faster stuff is difficult to predict. Those your ops for a UMP once again. 1 for 10 for him. It's almost non-existent here on Cobblestone. He looks pretty solid on train. Into round number 13. You need to see a couple more rounds on the board by Gambit to have a chance here. Mo goes towards danger. Tries to open things up, and it's the fast place once again from North. It goes straight towards that B side, but can't find the frag. It's the Dren that takes down MSL.
Dren backs away, having gotten the first kill on Config, dropping the bomb as well inside of the wall position, and a much, much better defense from Gambit this time around. The AWP that was saved, not a contribution needed. It's all rifles instead as Gambit find number 5, and they're trying to close this to an 8-7 scoreline. Give themselves a chance of getting back into the series and forcing out a 3rd map overpass, by the way. We have seen all 7 maps in this tournament. We've seen pretty much all of them at least more than once, which sometimes doesn't happen, but in this event certainly has.
Nuke a few times as well.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be surprised if... I know for us, the least we've casted is Cash. I wouldn't be surprised if Cash May and Nuke might be about the same amount of plays in this event.
For now, the double AWP setup rolling strong for Gambit here, hitting Val down to 13 HP. It's the first time Gambit have had the chance to run the double AWP setup. Mo and Adren trying to get things done at the upper platform here as Mo has control of it for now, dropping the smokes and utility to push NETs back. Adren watching long A. Fitch will be backing him up from danger. The classic default now from North, using their flashbangs to gain map control as they go. Flash again to take down Adren. He'll pull the trigger, but outstays his welcome. Now it's down to Fitch to try and recover the situation. I don't think he can. KGB watches the flanks, but what can Fitch do here?
Shot from Cajun. Takes Mo on entry. Sliding out is Config, and slipping behind is MSL. So Doja is good for 1, but then is done. It's on to Hobbit to rotate back around as the bomb gets planted. M4. And this after Gambit wins 1 on the bounce of a 3-round loss. Mo still has money, having saved before. They'll be in an okay position, but Hobbit may have to consider the save and is already trying to do so. Volda and AZ are reading into the situation and already hunting as well. Gambit is really being pushed against the ropes.
They absolutely are. After winning the previous round as well. They don't get to save the AWP. And it will be the final round of the half next as well. So North up 9-5 right now. But to save them for, they can't, okay, so they have got Mo somehow after saving, I guess, 2 or 3 times. And the AWP recovered. Their money actually should be pretty good. It's the last second AWP will be thrown over. Mo can drop 2 M4s. So they're actually not going to be looking too bad for round number 15. But just great stuff from North. That's what I've always said. I think their T default on Cobblestone is so good. It's very well done, and the flashbangs are always perfect, and not many CT sides that can actually hold them off when they deliver a decent execution of it. It's always such a difficult proposition for most CT sides against North. All bangs coming through, no damage inflicted just yet. Dosia, though, gets boosted up and finds Valda.
Oh, just barely a gap to see through, and he's able to get MSL inside of it. Fitch will back up to the site. Confidence in the kill that Mo has attained. And he's perfectly positioned to peek back out and get config as well. 9-6 looking more and more likely. Dren gets AZ as well, making things all but done as Cajun walks in, flashed off. Good response, fast. But don't get too excited because the rounds might just be too far out of reach. The only 1v5 we've seen this tournament, which to be fair is pretty rare. If we saw more than one, I would be questioning all of my existence, but was from Simple on this map and started in the same position, but Mo has had enough of that thought, takes it to a 9-6 halftime, and Gambit gave themselves a chance, but pressure on Pistol. They don't want to get too far behind, especially where it's not their map choice, and they are down, remember, 1 map already.
Well, they were 5-1 down, so all things considered, 9-6, not the worst half in the world, still is considered a T-sided map, and you're right, win the Pistol, tie things up, not a huge deal.
Not a huge deal. They actually would have done better off. They didn't win this Pistol, but they won the ensuing eco, so they had the chance to take a stretch lead.
That's true. Yeah, that's where it was the Deagles and PT50s in North that ran them over. We did see the CZs come out, the deadly CZs of Gambit. Not really working out though. North with already a map in the bag, looking to close things out on Cobblestone. So far, so good. A few touch and go rounds, but they look confident throughout. Jovial scenes there in the booth as well, looking quite happy. Rugger behind them. Seemed to be a pretty solid game plan. Win the Pistol on the CT side. Great chance of actually doing it and meeting G2 in the final. Here we go then. The buys will come through. 4 sets of armor for the Gambit side. Mo with the smoke and flashbang. He's got an HE as well. No defuse gets for North. They're fully protected with Kevlar across the board.
Aiden, AZ out, AZ out! Crazy AZ as he takes down Doja as well. Config finds Hobbit and forget the Pistol going Gambit's way. Bomb is down. Mo versus 5.
How has he done that? Takes a nade to the face and recovers, so we'll probably die here, but the round's surely done. There it is, Config finds the final frag. That's a huge round. AZ, a question mark around his name when the shuffle. We knew it was coming from the North side. He's been underperforming the last 6 months, but that's a massive round. That shot as well, mid-air, takes down Dosia. That's huge.
I'm going to say this again. I think Magist going out may give space to AZ. If AZ can get on pace as Valda continues to build into this team, and he's been excellent so far, this is where they become a more complete unit. This is where North gets really threatening. AZ is a factor as much as the new addition. Only his 7th kill in the game, but talk about contribution. It's massive. Config and AZ again. They go back out. Same shutdown play,
back,
same
baby.
Position. Yeah, Hobbit. Yeah, might as well do whatever. Just run. Just get it over with.
Well, we didn't have a force buy there from Gambit, just to note, which is interesting. Most teams, almost 99% of the time, no bomb going down in Pistol, you're going all in, but let's see what they can bring to the table here. Nice work by Config, though. Very, very good. We'll have to buy next round from Gambit here. Six.
AZ's gonna try and hold from danger. AZ spraying in, only gets 2. Say only. Well, like he hasn't had a bunch more earlier on in this half already, and Config will close things, doubling up 12-6 over Gambit. Now the guns come out, no AWP, it's gonna be a full arsenal of AK-47s. And the smokes to match. No smoke bot out yet from Hobbit. He won't go with one, he's gonna go with a Molotov instead. They'll have 4. because the Dren does pick up one instead.
12-6. Huge round here for the Gambit side. Smokes and Molotovs to work with here. A couple of flashbangs as well. Config is certainly classified as a bonus round here. 3 Famises, the MP7 coming out the first gun round, but it doesn't seem to be stifling Config whatsoever. 2 frags for him, looking for the third, can't quite find it. Does a little bit of damage there towards Hobbit, but not quite enough. 2 kills and the man advantage now for the north side. That's huge.
Huge indeed. When you consider that if they win this gun round, they find 13, and it's Gambit back on to pistols again. MSL goes to a corner. Didn't like the first one. Prefers the greenery over the pile of rocks at his feet. Easy again, as fresh as a daisy as he finds Hobbit. Doja backs up to get him down. Doja doesn't strike me as a man for flowers. He likes to go straight for the challenge. Straight for dessert. As Valda finds Doja. And Adren, still waiting in the corner, knows that Valda's on the outside of that doorway, but is the only one left, doesn't want to walk in and get baited out, doesn't even matter. Valda finds the kill. It is the 13th round for North, and it is Gambit again without money.
And North with bucket loads of it. That was a round where they had 3 Famises, a UMP and the AWP, and it's Config with more confident play at long A here. The fact he gets away with this is kind of mind-blowing, but still, you can't argue with it. And it's 13-6 now, touching distance of meeting G2 in the grand final. It's Deagle's CZs, but these rounds can fall apart. Don't want to be too overzealous here. Pick this round up, do everything you can, don't give it away. Make sure if you die, it's for a reason, but double AWP setup now. Config and Cajun B, the Deagle's son to fire through the smoke. They're hoping to get lucky. No nades over Gambit. They have got a partial buy for this round. They get maximum loss bonus into the next. Cajun B out. He controls the upper platform, and Hobbit, he'll drop down towards the down room. So might find some trouble here. Indeed he will. And now this could fall apart.
Config sits though ready with the AWP. Even though they've come through connector, they have to go back toward him. That's to their detriment. As AZ gets ready again with the M4. Adren will trade it back quick enough.
Oh.
And it pulls Config's attention. They'll win the round on time. And a kill to close it out, from Valda. I thought it was getting low on time, but it was Valda that beat it to it. So it now is 14 North with 2 to go. And a double up setup in play. That will continue to wreak havoc against Gambit. They got close considering they had no weapons. This time they will, but it is the last buy. I say that with bated breath because if they get a bomb plant, they are on max loss bonus, so they would be able to buy if they achieve that.
Yeah, on the T side is a bit more manageable in that sense. The Config though, waiting for the flashbang in middle, seeing if he can get the opening pick. He's just in the zone right now, isn't he? As he takes down Fitch, another 5-on-4 advantage for North. Looking for match point here. There's no crumble here today. Playing to win. It's Config at the very start of every single round. 5-on-4, he might have just done it.
Might have as they sit with the AKs. AZ gets back inside of the danger position. That means even if Doja and Mo want to go back over to A, they are still greeted and guarded early. A smoke off means AZ can backpedal. He can get back to the site. They don't need to overcommit with the man advantage to hold the position. They can afford to give up a little bit of map control. Meanwhile, Hobbit already down inside of the drop room has Adren with bomb above him. He's committed, but it's fine because he's in there safely, which means even if they go back to A, he can still be a factor on rotations. I'm not sure exactly where they're going to go yet because they're hesitant. Bomb drop, top drop. They're on the wrong side of the map.
This is so sick from North. That flashbang, the synergy, even when they have the advantage as well. They completely destroy Gambit in the drop-down room. They've got control of the bomb as well. Time ticking away, only 35 seconds. It's a 5-on-2 situation. Closing in a match point as well. What's the call here from Gambit? He said it, if they don't get the bomb down, money's going to be weak going into round number 22. They can still recover the bomb, but how do they get it down?
Best case, no kills. If no kills were to go through for Mo and Doja, as is. Best case for money is 38.50 for Hobbit, which does bring one AK at least into it. Doja gets at least a kill, but that's all they get. Cajun and Valda put North 1 round away from a grand final against G2.
It's looking so good now. Config especially is doing everything he can to open things up, give them the advantage. He did it with the FAMAS before, the AWP in the previous round, and now it's MSL with a world-class performance towards the drop-down room. He's on 20 frags and 13 deaths. Config 24. These guys really are lighting up the Gambit side. They have to buy 3 AKs, a Galil, and a CZ. No nades for Dosia, Fitch, or Hobbit. Mo has a flashbang, it's a B rush for the looks of things. Nades raining in, and Cajun B lighting the scoreboard with the AWP. This could be it. It looks like it certainly is. 3 kills, 4. It's up to Dosia. He's been quiet, and North have done it. They take down Gambit, the current major champions, and book themselves a place in the grand final against G2.
Their first final since Pro League. The last of the Nordics make a last stand. They knock out Gambit, who've seemingly been untouchable since their win in the major. They finally get shut down. They knock out Astralis. North gets revenge. Denmark versus France pending. Credit to Fitch as a new player. Completely unexpected coming in on his first ever Tier 1 event. Shows up, plays excellent, but credit to North with a new roster change. AZ steps up, Valda steps in, and both of them perform, as do everyone else on the team.
Yeah, you've been saying it all tournament. This could be the chance for AZ to get back some of that form we used to see in the Dignitas days. It's been missing for so long, but you can't argue with that game at all. So many high-impact rounds, and Valdo looking great as well. Cajun B probably playing some of the best CS I've seen for years from him. That was fantastic. MSL as well, almost top fragging for his team. Everyone's arriving. Config looked great. 2-0, and it was never a doubt in my mind they were going to drop Cobblestone. That looked fantastic.
Start to finish fantastic. Again, they got ecoed early on, and then they recovered it even still with pistols as they took over the A site. It's impressive all the way through in that North, even when they've made finals in the past, maybe have had an easier run, you could argue. A lot of people have said, or they barely slipped through. This time they take down Gambit, who's been the hottest team so far. And speaking of the hottest man, Config's on stage, an excellent final few rounds. He's got Stunnas alongside.
Hey, I do appreciate it as always, guys. Now I'm standing here with Config, this guy coming hot off a W here, going into the grand finals of DreamHack Malmö. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling really good. This is an amazing crowd, so this is the best place to be right now.
Absolutely. I think everyone here is behind you 100%, being that, you know, you're obviously the only Danish team left in the tournament. With that being said, I'm going to hit you with a heavy hitter right away. Is this the era where North is the #1 Danish team?
I believe so, yes. We're in the finals, they're not, so I think we are #1 at the moment.
I think you're absolutely onto something there. Now, looking back into this matchup, though, obviously going into the first matchup, just a little bit tougher there around the edges, but going into the second one, you guys seemed a little bit more confident, a little bit more poised there for success. Talk to me about what it's like playing alongside Valde and Cajun B when they're firing on all cylinders.
When Valde has his game on point, it's like you can't beat him. Even like he kills MSL in the last match and he's unstoppable. You can't even control him.
Can't even control that, right? That's how it goes. Now, looking at this Gambit team, though, they've obviously made hoops and strides, and coming fresh off the major victory into here now with the showing that they've had. What is there to say about this Gambit team?
I think they still have a good opportunity to win majors and do like last time, but I think they kind of miss an in-game leader like Zeus.
Like Zeus, so they're lacking that crucial part, you think?
Yeah, I think they're lacking the 5% that Zeus gave them.
Well, maybe they'll find it in due time. Now, you're going to be going into the grand finals against G2. How do you think you'll do?
Better than Pro League last time.
Better than last time, huh? Well, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you there, and I'm going to throw it over to the guys at the desk.
We'll be seeing more of Config on that stage in just a little while. The grand finals are coming up a little later on, and it will be G2 taking on North, and he's already said he's going to try and do better than they did over in Dallas. I'm joined by Sponge, Pimp, and of course YNK, myself, Machine, guiding us through it. And yes, it has been quite a quick one. North finish it in 2. A lot of expectations were set quite high, not only for the series, but also for Gambit. And I just want to immediately start with the question of, were your expectations met, Chad? I mean, did you get the Gambit you were looking for?
Obviously not, Alex.
But let's.
So-
No, I'm not talking about the win. I'm talking about the actual the amount, the style of Counter-Strike, the quality of Counter-Strike. North played them well, right? I mean, surely
Yeah.
the question is more about Gambit.
I feel like I'm chasing my tail with this analysis stuff.
It's tough, isn't it?
Because I'm talking about, hey, Gambit, they're not going to win this game against Astralis because they rely on the stars to step up and have really good games. And I said that yesterday, and then they proved me wrong. They stood up. Fitch stood in. He was the MVP, or at least we gave it to him for that matchup. And I was like, hey, sweet, maybe they can do it. Maybe they have the depth. And then today, roll on in, they don't have it. So I'm still going to be looking to this squad, you know, for the future and thinking they have a lot to grow into. They still are a good team. They have the members they need to be a solid unit. But right here, North was the better squad, and I love the pace that they let out the gates with.
Yeah, a big nod from you, Jacob. The pace of North, especially across that second map.
That was just a classic MSL way of calling. That's what North does so well, you know. He can change up the pace, they can play structured, they can play fast, they can do pretty much everything, you know. And when needed, Config Valde in this case stepped in. It was just I wouldn't even say like Gambit played bad, you know. They didn't really get to show what they were made of in this game. Like North was just all over them throughout the whole series, you know. So it's hard to do anything against it.
Is there not an argument to be made for Train? I mean, if they 10-5 down, they come into that second half and they manage to show some resilience. We get that overtime. A couple of rounds go Gambit's way. We're into a third.
Sure there is, but Train is not a map that North should be good on, you know. That's probably one of the weakest maps, you know, and that's why Gambit picked it against them. And they still managed to win Gambit's map pick, which is quite impressive going into a semifinal at DreamHack Masters, right? So it was all about North playing well throughout the whole series. They didn't give Gambit a chance to actually show what they were made of.
Classic MSL, Yanko. You get to see some classic MSL?
Classic MSL, maybe he changed his sensitivity before this game as well because he had a good performance. But yes, as we talked about it in the pre-game, it's not really any glaring differences or flaws that any team can exploit. It was a game of who will get the better reads, who will play better individually, and it was North who came up on top. Unfortunately for Gambit, it seems like their T sides have been a little bit flat in this game, especially on Train. You would expect more from them to be able to rack up more rounds.
I was really impressed with Cajun's AWPing on that first map of Train. I think he did a fantastic job, and he's not a flashy AWPer. We talk about this, we say Cajun's just the guy who gets it done. It's not that he isn't an AWPer, he's more of a classical AWPer in the sense of he'll hold a line, he'll make the frag he has to, he'll control that map territory, and he'll use that overbearing presence perfectly, and we saw it happen time and time again. Even had that round where he thought it was a good idea to alt tab in the middle of a 1v2.
That still wins it.
Love to see it. But you see when it happens.
Face on the face, yeah, it's like,
He looked, but he straight away he looked at his teammate's monitor, you know, to see that he was safe. So he's a smart cookie, you know. Otherwise he could have done something stupid, spazzed out, taking his hands off the keyboard, and able to win that round.
I would have had a
That's
complete panic. I'd have been like, someone's unplugged my cable. What's happening?
Yeah.
Oh no, never mind. I'm just stupid.
Well, your screen's going black for at least we're talking probably 7 seconds.
Okay, yeah.
Well, you alt tab out, and then you get alt tab back in.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So-
fair. And he just ends up staring at the bomb train for a while.
Imagine if he played off someone else's monitor and still won the round. Wouldn't that
Wait,
be
he
next
finishes
level?
the round like that? Oh my god. Yeah, there were some twists and turns, some hurdles to overcome for them, and Cajun B, of course, playing out of his mind, top of the scoreboard for them. But you mentioned, Yanko, an absence of T rounds. If I said that Gambit got 5 rounds on T side across both maps, that would be quite a stern reminder that like this is not the same Gambit we've seen previously.
Absolutely, and especially when you take into account that the second map was Cobble, which is maybe not T-sided, but it was. You know, it's not heavily CT-sided. At least you definitely can rack up rounds on the T side, and also taking into consideration that Gambit was very, very strong on Cobble, at least with the previous roster. But I don't think they made any major mistakes. I just think that yes, they weren't on their A game. North was playing really, really well, and those small lapses that we've seen from Gambit, North did a great job of just punishing them for it.
Is there anything like that going to be demonstrated over on the Weatherman?
Yes, it's actually just a couple of small details, and I think it's very important to note the confidence that North is playing with, and that gives them a level of calmness that we maybe have not seen from them previously. I mean, we were a little bit joking in the pre-game saying, North is going to choke, it's the semi-final again, but they've shown us that they're a completely different team now, and this is the round actually in the middle of the first half. You can see them just pushing towards the A-bomb site. We've had some trades early on, but then that presence of mind. Okay, good use of the utility that you have. Smoke for connector, molly for the little room, and molly for balcony. And that actually forces both of the players to move, and they both die to the fire. That wins them the round in itself. Also towards the very end of the game, we can see how on the CT side as well, it's very difficult to hold drop, right? That's the bane of the CT side on Cobble. But what North manages to do here is, even after they lose control of drop, they have a contingency for it. They bring Valde in, Pop Flash comes in all the way from Cajun, and MSL and Valde together are just going to clear out drop. And it's small things like that that shows you that team plays with confidence. They communicate well, they understand what's happening on the map, and they're reacting to it. They're being a proactive team rather than just waiting for their opponents to come to them, you know, wait for them to go for that execute with drop control. So those are some of the great signs we've seen from North in this particular matchup.